So let's start off. Just kick off the conversation. Hopefully, it'll take its own form and go someplace. Let's start it off with Jason's new Twitter plugin.
Yeah.
Actually, can we do a quick forum announcement first?
Yeah, if you want to do that, we can do that.
Sure. I didn't know if Michael was going to come on. I didn't want to steal his glory or not. But the next time you're in there, you'll find a lovely little like this button at the bottom of each post. That if you vote people up, it will vote up their what's it called? Reputation points. So now you can vote up posts that you like and help differentiate beyond just the number of forum posts as a measurement of your forum expertise, stuff like that.
That's awesome.
We were just talking about. Was it just a week ago that we were talking about?
Well, that's a direct response from that.
Yes. In fact, we took feedback, or I took the feedback from that first After Dark and went back and we tried to make the changes that we needed. We're not going to be changing the forum labels at this time, so we're going to stay with the you got to get a whole bunch of posts to get to the Corona Geek level. We may go back and change that later, but right now we felt getting the like this button was the more important thing done. We're still discussing the idea of an advanced user forum. That's probably going to happen. We just haven't gotten it done yet. We are trying to determine if there is any metrics. We think we have the metrics on how people come into the forums to read things, but we're still trying to gather all that information. And then I think that's it for forum-wide stuff. So.
That's awesome.
But I want to recognize that Rob took notes on everything that was discussed on that hangout and went back and said, "Hey, can we do these things?" Right? And then Michael went out and dug to find out what was possible, and now here we are. So thanks, Rob. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah. So
that's good stuff.
Problem.
Hey, do you know on the reputation points, is that going to? Do you know how that'll work? Is that going to like vote up things or vote down things, or is it just?
Well, we're only giving you a like this. We don't have thumbs down at this point. So right now we're going to start with that and see how it works and what we actually gain from it, and go from there. I mean, we may come back later and say that we need to have a vote down button, or we may just be happy with just the thumbs up button. So, and we'll just see how the reputation points and if they even matter, and what we can do from there. I mean, to me, it's a positive thing for this being a community forum. It's good to know who your helpers are.
Hey, Rob.
And volume of posts is a good metric for that. Yes, Alex.
I came in late. Did you say that all the Corona Geeks are going to have 1 million points and have really sweet avatars for that? Did I hear you say that? I came in at the end.
No, you're delusional.
Oh,
You're responsible for your own avatar.
It sounds like that's more work for Rob, so I'll definitely.
And I likely will be one of the first people to 1 million posts.
Well, you got your red solo cups. You're all set. You're just gonna be wheeling and dealing over there.
Yeah, this actually isn't a solo cup. It's a double-lined cup, so it doesn't like sweat and things like that. But it looks like a solo cup.
The Tervis. Yeah, that's the Bed Bath. Oh, and that's the Bed Bath & Beyond special right there, Rob.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So it's a fantastic cup, actually.
Reputation points.
You need a better rep, Eric.
Oh, really?
That's why we put him in.
On sales, or
yeah, I don't know where they're going to be exposed yet. I mean, I can hover over somebody's name, and I think there's a number there that may be the reputation points. I don't know how much of that's actually visible.
They're just fake internet points, like on Imager. I mean, who cares?
Given to the person that needs it.
Well, I mean, I don't know what we can do with them other than see them, but the idea that brought up was that just volume of posts is not a good metric of how quality your posts are. And by giving the community an opportunity to say, hey, I like this post, it was helpful, gives a chance for the individual folks to kind of build up a reputation of, hey, this person's helpful in the forums, and I can depend on their answer when they post. Or, somebody that's not posting a lot, they'll not have as good of a reputation, and they post a miraculous cure for something, and then you go, well, maybe I'll think about that.
Do we know if it will help bubble up any particular response, or is it just associated with the person?
This is so stinking new. I have no idea. I mean, I literally found out about this 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, I think Michael sent the email out like an hour ago, and so it's hot off the press. So okay, well, I think the important part here is that you guys said, hey, let's try to make some changes in the way that things are organized or whatever on the forums, and that's what we're trying to do. So
I got a big question about some of the reorganization stuff. Like there was a thing that was named really strange. What was it called? Corona Composer GUI. Like the composer for the GUI, not Corona Composer that's like storyboard, that's code, but Corona Composer that's like
GUI. GUI. Yeah.
Yeah, I slapped something together real quick on the for this kid on the IRC channel, and it's pretty funny. It's a froggy little thing that he gave me the assets, or he just posted the assets. I was like, here's how you do it. But it turns out like 15 builds later that changed, and all the timeline stuff is gone now in it, right?
It is a ever evolving piece of.
Yeah, I mean, is it still, technically speaking, is it still in beta?
I believe so. We're close to doing 1.0, or maybe we've done a 1.0, but I mean, we're still actively developing it and improving it every day.
Yeah, I really liked it.
So
I really liked it. I found out it was actually easy. It was easier to use than most people. A lot of people didn't even touch it. I was kind of surprised about that. But like, I put all my images in just a directory called image, and all the assets loaded up. I think the main hardest part with that when it first launched is it came out, and you couldn't drag and drop art assets into it. I mean, just that small, simple ability of, oh, here's an image, I'm going to drag it and drop it into my thing. And so I barely used it. I just moved around their stuff a bit, did some builds. But as soon as I just made my own file of it and put an image directory and dumped the images in the image directory, it had all those assets already loaded up when I'd loaded up. There were some issues about having to reboot it, shut it down and reload it because it had some massive memory leaks. But I really like the idea of, some kind of what you see is what you get, visual thing that you put together. And man.
See, on the flip side, I'm going to go on the other way from Eric and say that it's awful, and it's nowhere near ready for prime time. So you guys better do not put the ready sticker on that.
Yeah, don't put the ready sticker on it. Yeah,
exactly. It's not ready yet.
If no one's using it, if no one's playing with it and doing anything with it, then it's never going to get a ready stick. It's just going to get a thumbs down.
Good. Yeah, and
and a lot of people I talk to are like, well, I don't like to cook this certain way, so I'm not going to use it. And I was like, well, just try it. I liked it.
I'm guilty of that. I mean, I tried it in the first week, I think, that it was first put out in its earliest form. And I'm sure it's evolved since then. I've always personally, even going back, 20 years, I've always been like a notepad guy. Like when I was making web pages in HTML back in the 90s, even then I just hated the WYSIWYG stuff. That's just me personally. I know that's a weirdness about me.
No, so it's pretty common actually.
So when you design games, how many games have you used that have come out in production, like through Nintendo or Sony, that had a nice tool set? How many games have you used that had a nice tool set? I'm talking like any kind of production games. Okay, so maybe if you never made any Game Boy games or Sony games or stuff like that.
I've not. I've done zero console development, so.
Well, a lot of those higher level studios, they have tools to make things more visually and make the coding process a little bit easier.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that we're all kind of really into the tricks and tips and hardcore nerdy stuff, but also I think that if you realize that a lot of other communities people just want to put games together. They just want to make games, and I don't know if you've seen some of the other game tools out there, but they're pretty fucking rad. I mean, they're really...
I mean, I'm not knocking it in a wholesale way, and I think for a lot of people it's great. It's just I guess I'm giving my own explanation for having played with it for about an hour when it was about 2 days old, and then pretty much having walked away from it.
Right. Well, I just wonder if they're going to give it... You know what they ought to do with it? They ought to get it to a point where they can have another game jam and have, like, the whole community bang on it. That'll just push it forward. Because then people would be like, oh, I really like this. I really like this. I don't like this. It seems like a lot of people are going to be like, I don't like this at all anyway because I program differently or I program in my own style.
Actually, that's a really good idea. I mean, game jams are fun, and usually you have to have some rules around them. So the rule is you have to use Corona Composer to do it.
Yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be a really good one. I would jump in.
Chelsea,
I think it's really
stop
close.
trying
To
make Composer GUI happen. It's not going to happen.
I can't remember. No, again, it's.
I don't understand the negativity on this. I mean, that was.
That was a sweet reference to Mean Girls that nobody got. So now my heart is broken, and I
calls into
question
question how sweet it was.
I know. It's just rough. I haven't last week. I never played a Fallout game. Got booed off the call. This week, Mean Girls reference. Nobody gets it. It would be awesome. Don't get me wrong. I'd love it if it worked. You're right, Eric. You're right. I'm going to concede that. You're absolutely right. More people need to use it so it gets more eyeballs.
I don't understand like
Fallout 1 on GOG. You need to play the original Fallout.
Right. That's what I'm saying. See, I need you to understand that that I've got a ways to go. See, everything's in question now. I don't know anything about Fallout. I can't snipe for anything. I've played one Call of Duty game. It's just not good. I'm not a real gamer.
Are you programming? Are you one of the programmers who made the GUI Composer?
Am I?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
No,
I was the one who made it. It was only me. No, I had nothing to do with it. I had nothing to do with it at all.
Rob Miracle, tell the guy who put it together, Rob. He did a really cool job.
Okay, we'll do.
You're laughing at this guy's work. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Well, I mean, whenever you go to try to build a tool set like this, I mean, it's as big as building any other major application like Photoshop. There's a lot of things that you got to put into it to make it work.
It starts with acceptance of people that want to do it. So Rob, tell that guy if he ever wants to like try out a build, get at me. I'll be the first one to like grab graphics, throw it in there, and be like, "Oh, look, I got something stupid to fall over." It's, please.
I think
you know what I'm saying?
My reluctance.
Is
sure.
that a thing, Rob?
Okay.
Is that a deal?
Yeah. I'm sending an email right now.